spinny thing. Hey guys, I'm Misty Buck, president of Miss Inc., and we are here for another Marketing Monday. I cannot believe that it's December, and I know we get on every week, and I'm like, I can't believe it's this day or that day, but really, guys, we're in December. It's the end of the year, and I have the perfect guest today to talk about all things going on end of the year when you're in your business in terms of marketing, but also running your business. So with that being said, I am so happy to introduce Daniel Gonzalez to you. He is the director of business development over at Accounting to Scale. He's also a fellow member of the United Way, right? In the
United Way, Small Business United. Yep.
And you are just newly appointed to what?
The co-chair of
the co-chair. Super excited. Congratulations to you,
you
on that. You have a lot to celebrate going on, but I'm not going to spill all the beans for you. So tell us, Daniel, a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Accounting to Scale. By the way, Daniel is also a Miami native, which there's not very many of us. I am too, but you're also one of them.
Miami
so
native,
there you go. Born and raised in the county of Dade, as they say. So,
yes.
So there you go. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Accounting to Scale.
So I'm Daniel Gonzalez with Accounting to Scale. We're an accounting and bookkeeping controllership firm. So we specialize in doing month-to-month financials for small businesses here, well, in Miami or actually anywhere in the U.S. We do everything fully remote. We can do everything from accounts receivable, accounts payable to just monthly reconciliations or even quarterly. Business has been around for over 7 years. It was founded actually by my wife, Tiffany Gonzalez, CPA. You might have seen some of her YouTube videos, possibly something that we do together. That's a little bit the gist of it. I'm born, like you mentioned, I'm born and raised here in Miami. I went to Southwest as well as FIU. So through and through all Miami.
Through and through. I did leave a little bit for college. I went to FIU and then I went away for a little bit. But I always come back. That's the thing. Yes. I've tried moving away twice. Always come back. That's just the way it goes. Right?
Exactly.
The way it is when your roots are here. So tell us a little bit about, well, first, let's talk about the services that you guys offer at Accounting to Scale. Because what I thought was really cool is that you don't just do, people think, oh, accounting, taxes, right? But you guys go way beyond that. So tell us a little bit about that.
So Accounting to Scale, what we really specialize and is the bookkeeping or the controllership aspect, where we can pay all your bills for you. We can pay your employees. We're paying your vendors. We're collecting from you, doing accounts receivable, making sure that people are paying you on time. And then we provide you with the financials at the end of the month. But what really I think sets us apart, that makes us different than most bookkeeping firms, is that we like to we have meetings with our clients at the beginning of the year to do like budgeting and planning.
Yeah.
And then also at the end of the year, we're doing tax strategy and tax savings and tax projections. And that's where we found that most people have a disconnect from their accountants, is that they want, more guidance, more
100%,
help.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we found our niche, is the business owner that kind of needs a partner that can just not just give them black and white numbers, but give them, the higher level help that they need when they need to either buy a new truck or pay a new employee, the bonuses at the end of the year, and just making the right decisions. And then, like you mentioned, the tax, that is important. I mean, business owners, no one wants to pay more taxes than they have to. So finding strategies of, so maybe some business owners need to set up a 401k or IRA, things of that nature, to kind of shed some money and keep more money for themselves. So we try to provide more help on that level.
I love that, because as a business owner, I'm always trying to figure out, okay, am I, like, with my profit, am I spending the net? Am I paying this bill off correctly? Should I put more money towards here, or should I save it more for a rainy day? Like, it gets really confusing, right? Like trying to figure out like what the exact strategy should be, and setting you up for the next year for success, which we're just about right there.
Exactly. And like, everything is kind of in accounting. It depends. Sometimes it's funny. We talk about how things depend, like, how much money you made that year, the tax brackets, things of that nature that you really need guidance for. So luckily enough, we have Tiffany, who's an expert CPA, been doing it for many years, and not only just the tax, but the business experience, because a business owner's life is kind of different than a typical, than a regular person, more say.
So totally. So yeah, you have different things to think about in terms of the numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, it gets way more complicated. That strategy. Even if your business is simple, like mine's pretty simple, but it still gets like
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can
Right.
to save on taxes. But also you want to, with employees, it's important to make sure you pay them right, pay them on time,
Yeah.
things of that nature. So
Which is a big thing right now. So I know we want to get into the marketing, of course, but now that you're talking, just touched on employees and accounting and stuff, are you seeing right now more employers looking to what else can I do to help my employees? Because we're in this market where,
we're providing benefits and things of that nature.
they're more important.
Honestly, well, we're helping the employees. We don't get into like what they can do for that, but I can tell you what we do at our kind of scale. We do lots of things to make sure our employees are happy. One of the things that we do is like a monthly car wash.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we have someone come.
What day and time is that?
actually tomorrow if you want to come by.
Just gonna drive by.
So we do like something like that, like a small benefit like that. We do birthday lunches, decorate people's desks for birthdays, which I think is important as far as building a strong company culture and making your employees want to be at work, want to enjoy the time that they spend at your office with you, especially if you have your employees coming to the office, which a lot of times, and now it's so difficult because people want to stay home. And I think a lot of employers are probably fighting to get people in office. So you have to figure out what you can do to make your employees happy. Because I think as the director of business development, one of the things that's important is making sure your employees are happy because they are, your outsourced salespeople as well.
Yes, exactly.
And somebody that works in your business, should be able to sell or talk about your company in a good light and, be able to bring in, maybe not bring in clients per se. That's not their job, especially in accounting. Our accountants don't always love, networking per se. It's not their thing. But maybe when they're talking to friends and family about where they work and, if they love where they work, a referral can come from anywhere.
Yeah.
So
I love that so much because I think that people they underestimate how valuable your employees are to just not in the culture inside your business, but outside of your business. Because if I'm out and I'm talking about how great I'm being treated by my employer, right? Yeah. And how I actually enjoy going to the office and how the people I work with are awesome. If I'm on the receiving end of that, right? And I'm thinking about bringing my accounting to someone else and I hear that, to me, I'm going to be like, you know what? That's a good place for my business to be because their employees are happy, which means they're going to go do a good job. And that means that they're going to do a good job servicing me too, right? Because then it makes me feel that they actually like what they do. They value what they do. It's not just, one of these like cold places. So, and I think the reverse happens too. When someone's unhappy, it makes you think twice about bringing your business there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a total extension of your marketing. I love that.
100%. Yeah. Like your employees, like if they're unhappy coming to work, you're not going to be getting good production out of them in general.
Right.
But like I mentioned, if they're on the streets, they can not only bring you new clients, but even now in today's market, maybe even bring you another employee, maybe a friend of theirs that wants to come work, leave their job because they're unhappy. They say, hey, look, they do birthdays. We do birthday lunches. We're going to have our Christmas lunch, white elephant giveaway, things of that nature. Yeah. Celebrate anniversaries. Those are always important. And then when you have new employees, something that we're going to talk about, I guess, later is like a welcome kit.
Yeah, well, let's get into that, actually. Yeah. So you have a welcome kit.
Yeah, so we have a welcome kit that we do this for new employees as well as new clients. I think is also important. For new clients, we usually, if they're not in town, we'll ship it out if they don't come into the office for their onboarding. So this welcome kit is it's funny, but it's really just a box, as you see here. I don't know if you want to zoom in on this, but it's just really a box that I had made a sticker of our company logo. And, you just get a box, you put your sticker on top, and now it's a branded box.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And then inside...
Andres, can we get a close-up of this?
Yeah. So we have just this branded box, basically. So I've just made these stickers, and, you brand anything with a sticker pretty much.
That is true.
And then inside, it's kind of like about details, like, I have our company colors, tissue paper, basic.
I love it.
I had made a hat.
Time is money. That's the truth.
Time is money. That's one of our slogans.
These are nice hats too. These are not cheap ones.
Yeah. I try to do like decent quality. The time is money. Our logo, that's kind of within our logo. It's a message, because what we feel at a kind of scale is that a business owner's time is valuable, and if you get more time by getting your financials done by us, getting them done right, you're able to make better decisions. So that's why you're kind of balancing out the time you have with the money you can make. So that's kind of that's part of the vision and mission and vision of our company. And I feel like that is something that you want to know with your business, is like what your mission and vision is, and then push that through everything you do.
Right.
So
you're
that's
saying start with the mission and vision. Be really clear on that.
Yeah,
and
you
then
want to
build off of that.
Exactly. You want to be really clear on your mission and vision of a company, where you want to go, what you want to provide to the community, not just what it is that you do.
Right.
In a nutshell, we give you financials, but what is it that we really do for you? We're giving you your time back. We're giving you, power within the numbers, because that the numbers are right.
Right.
And with those numbers, you now are able to make better decisions for your business. So that kind of really starts with the accounting to scale, where even the name accounting to scale is like, we want you to scale your business. So we want to be that partner for you to grow your business. So we'll send you this welcome kit. It'll have like a hat. We have the notepad, a little notepad that we had made before, the sticker for you for fun. And then one of the best things that we've a wine key. This was last year.
Fun.
A wine key. Yeah, everybody likes wine key, but we had given out last year for a client gift some wine, bottles of wine, and then with the wine key. And then this is one of my recent things that I really love, is a car freshener.
Cool.
So there's an air freshener. You can actually have this if you like. And it's great because people leave this on their car, and when do you bring down an air freshener? You never do.
Yeah, never do.
You never bring it down. So this kind of stays with people. It's in your face.
Right.
And then anybody that walks past your car in the future can see it. And a funny story is, I have a friend in Austin, and we do the taxes for him and other colleagues of theirs over at AppSumo. So if you're a company, shout out to AppSumo.
Shout out AppSumo.
They're a company that does like for small businesses. They showcase like products and give you discounts on business building products. And so we do taxes for a number of people, and we've sent this over. And over in Austin, Texas, he's like, "Hey, you have the car freshener too?" And like he ran into a friend that also had it. So
you guys aren't just servicing local companies, by the way. You're servicing.
No, we're serving. We have clients in New York. We have clients in South Carolina. Everything that we do is fully remote. Most of our business is in Miami, and that's who we promote. But word of mouth, I guess, gets kind of gotten out, and different clients have friends in different places. And accounting is such a trust thing. People really need to trust their accountant.
Yeah.
So when you get a referral from somebody, it's very valuable.
Yeah. So we touched on this a little bit when you were creating. So how do you create a good mission and vision? Like, how do you get all that started? So mission, vision, your branding, colors, your logo. Like, how did you guys do all that? What was your process? Because everyone seems to be a little bit different.
Yeah. So I will say that it's a process. More than likely, you have the steps to being an entrepreneur are always up and down, left and right. There's never really a straight line. But for me, it was actually when we really nailed it down was when I took part in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program.
I've heard amazing things about that.
That's a really great program for any small business owner that really wants to kind of I don't know, get like a mini college degree in being an entrepreneur, because it covers all steps. But it comes down to, you just kind of have to sit down with a pen and paper and kind of come up with it. And having that mission when you think about why people want to buy from you, why people want to work with you, and just sitting down and kind of ironing it out. And it's something that people, I think, skip past, because they think like, oh, these are just kind of words on a paper. But it can be so much. I think it can be so much more.
I think you're right. I think, like, to me, so personally, when I help people develop that, if they read it and they're like, I'm like, we're not done. When they read it and they go, that sounds like me,
Yeah.
Now I know we've gotten somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel that way with your mission and vision?
Yeah, 100%. I think like it's just like it's important to like know like to have that core value, and then like I mentioned, just like put it through everything. Like it has to come
Right.
through everything. So like I think I have it here. Like our missions, we want to be accounting. We're an accounting, bookkeeping, and controllership firm that partners with small business owners to provide them financials on a monthly basis. And our vision through that is that we want your business to scale, and we want to be that partner for your business. So it's definitely something that's important. And then like core values is another one that's
Oh,
easier.
look at this fancy thing.
Yeah, this is like our core values. If you want to zoom in, well, I'll just put it here.
Yeah,
So our core values are packed. It's problem solving, accountability, communication, and teamwork. Put it up again.
I like this. So is this hanging in your offices?
Yes. So it's in everyone's cubicle. We have cubicles in our office. So everyone has that, and I actually want to have it put up on a wall somewhere as well. And have someone do that first, or chalk and brush actually.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's super cool. But I love that because I think it's important to remind yourself of sort of like, why am I here every day, right? Because I think you can sort of like get into with any kind of work, whether it's something creative like marketing or something more numbers based and fact based like accounting. I think that you want to remind yourself of what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it, because otherwise it kind of gets mundane, right? And you're like, oh, another day, here we go, let me just get through my tasks, instead of like reminding yourself, but this is why I'm doing it, and let me do it. If I'm going to do it, let me do it well, right? So I love that you guys are so connected with your employees in providing that service.
We've because of this accounting, I mean, the product that we provide to our clients is the people. It's the people that are executing on providing you those financials. So we need to make sure that our people
love that. Put that in your mission. I love that. That's a beautiful way of saying that.
It's true. I mean, it's not just the black and white. I mean, if it was just that, it would be a computer system that would just handle it. So it's being able to make sure that our employees are treating treating their clients that they work with on a regular basis, because the way it's kind of structured is if you're one of our clients, you'll have an accounting specialist that works with you on a regular basis. So they're able to get to know you and get to know your business. You get to know them, and they really become kind of like an outsourced employee for you. So we want to make sure that that person is happy and then is able to provide you with the level of service that is key to our success and to your success in turn.
Right. No, and I love that. And when you're clear, I think when you're super clear with your employees on that and what's expected for them, but also like this is their culture, that it makes it a lot easier for the employee to deliver too, right? Because now they understand this is where we're at. So sort of on that, but not on that, that same idea. When you guys are out there connecting with people, one of the things that you have done really well is YouTube videos.
Yes.
So off camera, we were talking a little bit how you got more into that over COVID, and you've sort of become like an expert. So now I don't even know these things. So now you're really good with lighting and editing and scripting and all that, right? So talk to us about your journey through that and how YouTube has been helpful to your business.
So YouTube actually is funny, is kind of a COVID thing that happened to us, because a little bit on my background, I started with Accounting to Scale 2 years ago. And when I first started, I was really excited. I was going to do all this selling and sell and grow the company.
Just sell.
And then what happened was COVID hit and shut down the world. So we had to figure out how are we going to get out there? How are you going to connect with people? And one of the ideas that we had, Tiffany, my wife, had was to let's start doing these YouTube videos. And especially at that point in time when everything was so brand new, there was so many changes happening. People were waiting on the stimulus and all this. Right. So there was basically breaking news, and people didn't even know how.
Oh my God, the PPI stuff.
The PPP.
Oh, PPP. I mean,
yeah.
What's PPI? Oh my God, that's auto insurance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's auto history. Exactly.
But yeah, the PPP.
Yeah,
I'm
so
traumatized.
there was so much going on, and so we wanted to become a credible source for people. So we ended up getting we got a camera, we got lights, and it's developed. I mean, we, you know, months later we got a microphone, and then we got better lights, and then you get, you know, so you go adding on little by little. I first started off using a Microsoft Surface, and I was editing, and it started shaking, and the camera literally was shaking.
Oh my gosh.
It was like too much going on. But I had never done any kind of video editing or Photoshop or nothing like that. It really was not my forte, or even script writing. And you know, because this is COVID, and you do what you have to do.
Right.
You learn, and little by little you get better. But yeah, we started doing YouTube videos. We were putting out 2 videos a week, and I'm very proud that we still put out at least 1 video a week, and we've been doing it for over a year and a half. We have about 150 videos. You know, we do.
Wow, 150.
Yeah, we have over
Wow.
150 videos that we did it over a year, and you know, we do marketing. I mean, not marketing, accounting terms and topics. Like one of our segments is called "What Is That." Which is, you know, different terms and topics you may have heard, but we make them easy for you to understand. And even there, we'll talk about, you know, some tax news. We'll do tax news, breaking news that comes out. Recently, we had a video come out talking about the Build Back Better plan. You know, going over those kind of things, because these bills are huge, and not everything affects you, but we try to get the most important things that do affect the community, and get that information out to them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and how has that been for you guys in terms of when you were shut down, you couldn't do the in-person selling that you were accustomed to, right? And the networking and all that kind of stuff. So how have the YouTube videos helped you? Obviously they have some kind of value because you're continuing to do them. So how have they helped you?
So I think that the YouTube videos, what they have done is they provide a level of credibility that you can't really get from anywhere else. Because there's one thing if you have, you know, just some like random posts or things like that, but if you have the videos, and there's not just like the content, but there's also like the consistency factor. I think that's really important that people don't, I think, understand. You know, if you do one video a week for 3 weeks, I mean, that's nice, but you know, people will notice that you started to drop off, or you don't. So I think that the consistency factor makes people realize, wow, this person is very serious about what they do. They're not playing,
and knowledgeable.
And then through the videos as well, on top of that, you build credibility with the topics you cover. And then they get to know you. And like we talked earlier, an accountant is somebody you really want to trust. So if you're able to, at least, you know, you're able to connect with them through the videos at first, and you meet with us, and then, you know, you come to our office, and everything is consistent and goes through, you know, we possibly have a client for a long time. So the videos just build credibility. We've tried to grow our YouTube audience as much as we can, but accounting is not the sexiest topic, I'll say. So that is the hard thing, is that you know, there's a lot more entertaining things than talking about bookkeeping to find online.
Well, but if it's something, but you're right, if it's something that if I'm really interested in, right? I'm looking at it, or even if, to your point with the credibility, if I'm looking to switch accounting companies and yours is one of them running, what am I going to do? I'm going to research you, and I am not just going to look at your website. I'm going to look at your reviews. I'm going to look at your social media. I'm going to look at your YouTube. I want to know who you are, that you're present, that you're active, that you know what you're talking about. And that's what everybody's basically looking for, right? When they're what we call social proof. So I love that. So I have another question. So one of the things that I'm just so interested in this part too, because a lot of times when people do videos, myself included, I do it completely off the cuff. Like I don't script anything. So I have like the topic in mind. Sometimes I'll have a few bullet points of things that I know I want to like get out and make sure that I mention during the video, but I never really script the video. But I love this concept because there's so many times people come here, or I have conversations with people elsewhere, and I'm like, video. No, I don't want to get on video. I don't know what to say. I get really nervous. So how does writing the scripts ahead of time help prepare? It's your wife that mainly does the videos, right? So how does that help her? Because I think that that's a really good tip for people who might be really nervous.
Yeah. So The scripts work. I mean, well, I'm the one that writes the scripts or whatnot, and it's really more a time thing, because if you want to do videos, what we do is we film 8 to 10 videos on a Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So we have to get a babysitter, and we get a babysitter, and we'll film the 8 to 10 videos, on a Saturday. So it's kind of like
Oh,
you want to make sure you know
you're
what you're
getting a
talking about.
babysitter to film videos.
That's the entrepreneurial life right there.
That is the epitome of the entrepreneurial life and being a parent.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we just have to have the content.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. I think that if you want to make it consistent and you want to have a long track, you kind of do have to have a plan. And I'm more like you, to be quite honest with you. I've never, like I mentioned, I've never written a script in my life before.
Right.
I'm not even a writer. And it's just something that you have to do. Sometimes you just got to do what you have to do. And yeah, just do some research on different topics. A lot of Investopedia.
Yeah, but
So.
I love that. And one of my favorite quotes from a mindfulness coach actually is, he always says, like, if you don't know who you are, you can end up being anybody, and if you don't know where you're going, you can end up anywhere. And I find that that's so true in your marketing, because like if people oh yeah, whatever, but I'll do my social media. But then when you're talking about that consistency, they get lost in that because there is no plan, right? Yeah. Like there's no consistency in knowing where I'm going, what I'm going to talk about when. I don't have any kind of schedule laid out. I just know, like, I need to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm all hyped up. But after the first couple posts, then I'm like, okay, now what? Yeah. Right. And then it sort of like falls off because you're like, I don't have time to think about this or deal with that. So I love this solution. Yeah.
Like it's hard. I think that for anybody, it's hard to do things. And that's why there's so many, YouTube videos of people talking about hard work and consistency all the time, and like just pushing that idea. And that's honestly one of my keywords, I think, in life is consistency, because, like your brand message, I think, has to be, like I said, consistent throughout. Your colors, like if you go to our YouTube video, the only colors you see on our thumbnail are yellow, blue, and green as a background. So you want it to like permeate all the way through, and permeate all the way through everything that you do. But it's just hard, as to wake up in the morning and be like, I'm gonna shoot a video today, and I'm gonna remember to do it on Monday again, and then it just kind of, life gets hard, it gets in the way. So especially for business owners, there's always something popping up, right? So you think like your day is going to be one way, and then by now, if you've been doing it long enough, that's never the case. Yeah, exactly. It very rarely ends up exactly how you plan it. So we only have a few minutes left. So is there anything else? Like, what would you share with somebody who's getting their business started? They're trying to figure out all this branding stuff. What would be one of the pieces of advice that you would give to them? I think that the number one piece of advice that I could give somebody would
First
be...
of all, go to accounting to scale, so you have your books right. Okay, and then after that,
exactly. Once you have your finances in order, then you can start marketing more. No, like I was been saying, is a consistent message, but it also, marketing, I also think, is kind of fluid. There's a Bruce Lee quote that he's like, oh, you want to be like water.
Be like water.
You want to be like water. You want to be able to move. So you want to be consistent, but you have to know that, I think, marketing is a moving target. You never know what's going to stick and when that thing will stick. So you need to test things out. It's hard, but it's throwing things at the wall sometimes.
Right.
But you have to know that that's what you have to do. It gets tough, and that's where the mindset of getting things done is important, because you need to, maybe you didn't get any likes on that post, but you need to consistently put out posts, or if not, people are going to forget about you. Yeah. So just doing things over and over again, as tough as that sounds, is important. Yeah. But also always be coming up with new things, new plans. Yeah, just always kind of just know that it's a moving target, and you don't know, and it's a long race. Also.
It's a race, it's a marathon.
It's and things marathon.
Are always changing, disrupting the market and the marketing. Exactly. Things change, and So just really being on top of that, but being like consistent with it. So I want to thank you so much for your time, for coming
Thank
here.
you.
I know that you
appreciate
have your
having me.
hands full with all kinds of stuff at work and at home and everywhere else. So
Yes.
thank you for taking the time to
No.
being here. And
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate your time and the show. So thank you so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So it's real quick before we close out, how can people reach you?
You can give us a call at 305-503-2814. That's our office line. Reach us on our website, accountingtoscale.com, or email us at info@accountingtoscale.com. We'd love to speak with you, and we'd have a discovery call and see how we could be of service to you.
I love it. A discovery call. I love
Yeah.
that. Super smart.
Yep.
So you have no risk. Just give them a call,
No
have
risk.
the discovery call, tell them you saw them here on Marketing Monday. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
Daniel will take real good care of you. And with that, I want to thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I will see you guys next week for another Marketing Monday. Thank you all again, as always, for joining us. Happy holidays, whatever you're doing out there. Be safe and healthy and happy and blessed. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.